As we know, Alexander Volkanovski got KO'd by Islam Makhachev today, and you know he showed up, he fought, he stuffed the takedowns from Islam, but he's talking about still fighting in January against Ilia Topuria after getting KO'd with a head kick. Like Volkanovski is one of the toughest men on the planet. He's still one of the greatest fighters on the planet. I don't think going up a weight class and fighting Islam Makhachev changes that. But Volk, for fuck's sake, take some fucking time off. Do not come back. Do not rush a comeback. Fight Ilia Topuria after getting knocked out. Like, don't. He's a power threat. He is so fucking powerful. Do not do that, please. I beg Volk. I'm pleading with Volkanovski. Please do not come back and fight Ilia Topuria in fucking January. I beg. I actually plead with him not to do this. It is not going to. It is not going to be a good thing if he does this. Like it's generally not. Man, like some of these fighters, I hate the fighters I like. It's like way too tough for their own good. This just isn't a fucking good idea. He was tough to take this fight against Islam Makhachev in the first place. Like why did he take this fight in hindsight? Why did he take this? You were preparing for Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is no slouch. She's a tough fighter. He's a really good fighter, man. Ilia Topuria is elite in my opinion. Solid boxing fundamentals, probably some of the best boxing fundamentals in MMA. A solid wrestler. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good submissions, good darces. He can wrestle, like I say, Greco-Roman wrestling background, high-level jiu-jitsu background. Powerful as fuck. He's tough. He's got that dog in him. He's not someone to overlook. And coming off a KO loss like 2.5 months later and fighting Ilia Topuria is such a fucking stupid idea, man. Just Volk, you're tough. You want to be active, but take off an extra month or two. It's not going to hurt you. It will hurt you if you come back and you fight an absolute fucking power puncher in Ilia Topuria. Like I'm begging you, Volk, please, please. I'm fucking pleading. I'm praying to the MMA gods. Do not let this man come back in fucking January after that. You know, Volk's durable, but getting head kick KO'd like that is not going to be good. That is not a good amount of damage to take when you're coming up against fucking Ilia Topuria. Look at Topuria's like KO power, even at lightweight. This guy is powerful. He fucking flatlines people. I think he's the most powerful featherweight. You do not come back from a fucking head kick KO that quickly. Volk, just, yeah, like I say, I hate that all the fighters I like are fucking amazingly tough. Always wanting, like, why are all the fighters I like fucking the BMF type fighters, man? Like, fuck, man, hell. Do not. I do not like this at all, man. Like, come on. At least wait till like March. UFC 300, why don't you fight then? That would make some sense in my opinion, but I don't know. It's uh, this, yeah, not ideal circumstances by any means. But man, Volk's just too tough, man. Like he shouldn't, like I said, taking this fight on 11 days' notice when you're the pound for pound number one fighter is that's already crazy enough. Nobody is doing stuff like that. Nobody in the pound for pound rankings is coming in on short notice and doing that. But, Alexander Volkanovski is the fucking one guy crazy enough to come and do that. Oh, but please, Volk, don't be crazy enough to come and fight Ilia Topuria on 2.5 months' notice. Like, that just would be a very horrible decision for your career. I get he's 35 years old and he wants to be active and everything, but this damage is going to catch up to you, Just the fact you got KO'd is really not a good sign. at your age. Like at 35, it's never a good sign to get KO'd. Uh, I mean, like I would pick him against Tapuria if he took some time off, but I've never picked against Volkanovski, but if he fights Ilia Tapuria on 2.5 months, I'm gonna have to pick Ilia Tapuria, and like I don't want to do that, but I have to be realistic with my predictions here. If he comes back that quickly, I'm gonna have to pick Ilia Tapuria here by KO. Like look at Kamaru Usman. He got KO'd by Leon Edwards, and that just completely changed him. Like he doesn't look like the same fighter anymore. I mean, to be fair, Kamaru Usman arguably beat Hamzat or got a draw against Hamzat Chimaev today, but still, like the mentality switch is crazy. Like Kamaru Usman looks like a different guy in there now. I can imagine the same thing happening with Volk. Like maybe Volk's just unbreakable, but still, man, like don't why take that risk? Why? Why put yourself at risk for that? Like think of it this way, like what's a good example of this? Like imagine imagine DC got when he got head kick KO'd by John Jones. Imagine he gets head kick by John Jones and then immediately comes back. When did he come back and fight Vulcan? Let me check. Like Daniel Cormier. I know that was in like 2019 when he fought Vulcan. I think he fought Jones in 2018. Like, let's see. Yeah, so he fought in July and then he came back all the way in January. Imagine if he came back after that, 2 months later against Volkan Oezdemir and got caught with like a really big shot. His chin's not going to have recovered. Or imagine you switch it around. Imagine if, the John Jones fight happened and then he fought Anthony Johnson the fight after, like 2 months later, like he would have got KO'd, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know, man. Uh, like Volk is one of the fucking toughest men on this planet, but you're still a human being. At the end of the day, Volk is human. He's not a fucking cyborg or a superhuman being or something. He bleeds the same like you and I, and he takes damage like a normal person does. Like no man can recover from getting KO'd like that in 2 months. Like I think Ilia Topuria would probably be the fucking favorite if he came back that quickly. If he wasn't, then I would generally, as bad as it sounds, I'd have to bet on Ilia Topuria because there's no way. If Volk comes back that in 2 months and fights Ilia Topuria, then I'm fucking betting on Ilia Topuria. Even though it's a good stylistic matchup for Volkanovski, with the low kicks and everything, and Topuria. Besides the Josh Emmett fight, which wasn't that high pace, we have seen Ilia Topuria slow. I feel like Volk could slow him down, but fuck, man. Like they say, people saying there was no risk here for Volkanovski, but that was such bullshit. He did have risk. Like if he got KO'd, that is like a big hamper on his durability. That's always a risk, especially when your next opponent is gonna be fucking Ilia Topuria. Like if he was, fighting Mozvay Evelev next, or like who else? Like a Bryce Mitchell, somebody not with power and just grappling heavy, then yeah, fine. But getting KO'd and then having fucking Ilia Topuria be your opponent is insane. But yeah, man. Let's just hope that Volk let's just hope Joe Lopez or somebody in his camp just says, yeah, Volk, you need to take some time off. Like it's not worth it at the end of the day. It's not worth the risk. Just please take some time off. You'll be back. Like you're not gonna like be just train your hardest in camp. Fucking work on fitness and everything. Work on head kick defense and all this sort of stuff. Like in your camp, but don't be going hard sparring. Don't be plotting to come back 2 months later. Just work on your skills. Just get back into shape, fighting shape, stay in fighting shape. I think Volk is going to learn from this. I don't think he's like I'm not saying he was fat, but he clearly was a bit out of shape in this fight compared to what he normally is, especially in that first Islam fight. I think he's going to stay in shape more often now, just in case a short notice opportunity comes. But yeah, fuck, like generally, fucking Jesus, man, like just not a good look. But we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, Volkanovski is built differently. So if anyone could come after getting KO'd 2 months before this, it's Volk. But I just don't want him to take that risk. Just why make a fight even harder than it has to be? Like Ilya Tapiri is no slouch, and after already getting KO'd, it's just going to be it's going to make it even fucking harder. But yeah, I guess we see what happens here. I'm just praying to the MMA gods that it's not fucking like let Ilya Tapiri fight somebody else or something. Do him versus Max. Maybe he can beat Max, and that'd make the fight even bigger. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens here, man. What a fucking sport. What a sport we watch. I don't understand it sometimes. These fighters, man, they're tough. They've got crazy mindsets, but sometimes their mindsets get them in trouble. But we'll see what happens, man. Maybe Volk will prove me wrong here, but I don't like this for him. But yeah, if you made it this far into the video, make sure you give it a like. Let me know your thoughts on if Volk does take this fight against Ilya Tapiri on 2 months. How would you have it going? But yeah, that's all I've got to say. I know he doesn't like to be inactive and everything, but you got to be smart with these decisions. If you take back-to-back KO losses, who knows how your chin's going to be for the rest of your career, man. But yeah, we'll see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.